WFC, reigning Featherweight Champion of the World, the Notorious Conor McGregor!
It's like when Conor knocked out Jose Aldo. You ever see that shit?
Yeah.
Where he was practicing that. He was like mimicking Aldo, and then he was practicing, like just launching that left hand when he moves in.
Yeah, and then...
And the same thing, got him out of character, got him fucked up and flustered, got him angry. Nobody had disrespected Aldo before that. Everyone was terrified of Aldo.
There are fighters, there are champions, and then there's Conor McGregor, a man who walked into the UFC with a zero reputation, a thick Dublin accent, and the kind of confidence that makes people either love him or desperately want to see him fail. Over the course of his career, he silenced rooms, he shocked the world, and he produced moments that will live in combat sports forever.
You might be right.
I'm not seeing it, man. Like when Conor fought Floyd, or when Conor Nate Diaz too, I couldn't go anywhere
Without hearing
Starbucks, anywhere, shoe store, where car dealer, everyone, dude, Conor Floyd, who you got, man? Everybody and their mom. Now, very rare. Maybe at one of my shows someone will bring it up, but
There's something that Conor didn't want to do for this fight, and that's massive promotion.
Today we're ranking the top 5 greatest Conor McGregor wins of all time, judged on performance, stakes, context, and that undeniable wow factor. Stay until the end because the number 1 might surprise you. Let's get to it. Number 5, Marcus Brimage, UFC on Fuel TV 9, April 6, 2013. Every legend has an origin story. This is Conor's.
The top looking to finish in air. This is why everyone's been talking about Conor. It's all over. Conor McGregor, another first-round win.
This is his first UFC debut. Nobody outside of hardcore MMA circles knew who he was. He was this skinny, flashy kid from Dublin. 67 seconds later, Marcus Brimage was on the canvas, and Conor McGregor had the entire UFC fan base asking the same question. Who is this guy? The speed was there, the precision was there, the left hand, already looking like a weapon, was there. But honestly, what made this moment iconic wasn't even the finish, it was what happened after. Conor grabbed the microphone and asked Dana White for his post-fight bonus fight, right there in the cage. Laughing, soaking it all in. That was the moment you realized this wasn't just a fighter, this was a star, a personality the sport hadn't seen before. It's number 5 because the opponent wasn't elite, but as an introduction to the world, you couldn't have scripted it better. Number 4, Chad Mendes, UFC 189, July 11th, 2015.
With 20 seconds to go. Conor McGregor is a UFC interim featherweight champion!
By the time UFC 189 came around, McGregor was already one of the hottest names in the sport, but this fight was a genuine test, and for a while it looked like he might have failed it. Chad Mendes was the number 1 ranked featherweight in the world, an elite wrestler with knockout power, which is a nightmare combination for a striker like Conor, and Mendes showed up to the fight. He took McGregor down, he landed heavy shots, and in the second round he had Conor hurt again against the cage, with the crowd holding its breath. And then the switch flipped. McGregor created just enough space, timed the left hand perfectly, and the moment Mendes was rocked, TKO round 2 interim featherweight title. What elevated this fight isn't the finish, it's the adversity. This was the first time we saw McGregor genuinely in trouble and genuinely fight it through. He proved he wasn't just a highlight reel. He had a chin, he had composure under fire, and he had the killer instinct to capitalize a second window. Number 3, Eddie Alvarez, UFC 205, November 12, 2016.
Alvarez getting loose, getting better here in this round though.
Oh man.
Until then.
Oh, he's done. He's done.
It is all over. History has been made.
That was a nutty scene, man. Being there in the weigh-ins felt surreal. It felt
just
really
like
surreal.
finally it happened.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like the weight of the event was thick in the air. It had this feel to it that was very different than any other show we'd ever put together.
Dang, I wish I was there. That's the one show I wish I was at because it's so special. And it's gonna be tough to beat that, but
it'll never be. You'll have big giant events for sure, but it'll never be like that because that was the last block of corruption.
Correct.
That was standing in front of the UFC getting into New York.
Madison Square Garden, the first ever UFC event held in New York State, and Conor, he decided to make history on the biggest night the promotion had ever seen. Eddie Alvarez was a UFC lightweight champion. Tough, experienced, known for his relentless pressure and his ability to make fights ugly. Most people expected a war. What they got was a masterclass. From the opening bell, McGregor looked like he was operating on a different level. The footwork was sublime. The timing was surgical. That left hand kept finding Alvarez's chin like it had a GPS tracker on it. By the second round, it was over. TKO. And Conor McGregor had done something no fighter in UFC had ever done before. He held 2 championship belts at the same time. The roar inside Madison Square Garden was something else. Conor stood in the center of the octagon, a belt over each shoulder, draped in the Irish tricolour, and delivered a speech that gave you goosebumps whether you liked him or not. This was the mountaintop, the culmination, everything he'd worked towards. It's number 3. And the reason why is because the 2 fights above it are simply unforgettable and on a different level. Number 2, Jose Aldo, UFC 194, December 12, 2015.
And Jose Aldo Jr.
Conor relaxed and smiling.
Oh no! He slapped him! Conor McGregor is the new UFC Featherweight Champion of the world!
Jose Aldo had been the featherweight champion for 6 years. He had gone on to one of his longest unbeaten streaks the UFC had ever seen. He was considered by many, pound for pound, to be the best MMA fighter on the planet. Coaches, fighters, analysts all said the same thing. Aldo was too experienced, too well-rounded. McGregor was going to get found out.
Conor Aldo, same thing. Like, it's like right to left, just straight across while he's coming forward.
Yeah.
It makes his head spin.
The fact that Aldo was so hell-bent on destroying Conor, he just was hell-bent, and Conor took advantage of that.
It was
Smart
an immediate.
timing.
Remember that? It was like, here we go, big fight. And there was like, what? It's over immediately?
Smart.
Yeah,
It's like
it was
when Nate
genius.
slaps somebody and then
It was genius. But this was a powerful punch. Look at that. Boom, bang, bang. But first of all, you got to realize it's perfectly placed.
Yeah,
the
it's the
accuracy.
placement.
Accuracy's impeccable. Second of all, some people can just crack. And if you look at Conor's build, there's a lot of guys built like that can fucking crack.
I want to see it in slow motion.
He's got real wide shoulders. He's real fast, and he's got big hands. Like all those things together, he's just got that freakish punch. There's just people that just have that kind of punch, man.
oh,
I mean, that's just genius.
Left foot gets hit afterwards, too.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a cut over his right eyebrow.
From that punch?
From Aldo's one
Fall
hook that
down
he landed.
punch.
Look how genius this is. Look at this. Bam.
Aldo lunged forward with a left hook, the same punch he'd been landing on elite fights for years, and Conor McGregor made him pay for it with a short, perfectly timed counter left hand that sat Aldo down like his legs had been pulled from under him. Stone cold, out before he hit the canvas. 13 seconds, the fastest finish in UFC title fight history at that point. The photo of Aldo flat on his back with McGregor standing over him spread across every sport website on the planet within minutes. It validated every bold prediction McGregor had ever made. Every boast, every guarantee, every time he pointed at his left hand and called it a weapon of mass destruction, he was right. This is one of the greatest moments in MMA history. Full stop. It's number 2 only because our number 1 tells an even deeper story. Number 1, Nate Diaz rematch, UFC 202. August 20, 2016. 4 months before UFC 202, Nate Diaz choked Conor McGregor unconscious in the second round. It was the most shocking upset the UFC have seen in years. McGregor's aura of invincibility was gone. People were calling him exposed. McGregor signed the rematch immediately. UFC 202 was 5 rounds of absolute war. Diaz hurt him multiple times, and every single time McGregor didn't run, he stood his ground. He composed himself, and he kept executing his game plan. His boxing was sharper, his movement was better, and his ability to problem solve mid-fight while absorbing punishment from one of the most toughest men in the sports was remarkable. He won a majority decision. He got his revenge, and he did it the hard way. Going the full 5 rounds against a man who had submitted him before. He won a majority decision, and he beat him in front of the world with everyone watching for him to crack. Any fighter can look good and great against the right opponent on the right night, but to come back from a public loss, take the hardest fight possible, and grind out a victory through pain and adversity, that is the mark of a true competitor. The Nate Diaz rematch is Conor McGregor's greatest win, not because it was the flashiest, but because it revealed who he was when his back was against the wall. So that's it, that's the list. 5 fights, 5 moments that define one of the most polarizing careers combat sports has ever seen. Whether you're a McGregor fan or not, you have to respect what he built. The debuts, the title runs, the records, the wars. There's nobody else like him. Now I want to hear from you. Do you agree with the list? Is there a fight I should have included? Drop it in the comments, let's have that debate. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.